Alright, so it seems I found the culprit for my mic constantly cutting out on everything, and unsurprisingly, it's having downloaded the NVIDIA app. Now, I had downloaded the NVIDIA app because of Shadow Play so I could get clips in Fortnite, but it seems like I'm gonna have to delete it again. This NVIDIA app just always causes fucking problems for my PC, whether it just be normal performance or it now be cutting out my mic and interfering it with it in recordings, right? So hopefully I am right, and like halfway through this recording it doesn't just start bugging the fuck out, right? So in this video I want to talk about V1 Cereedra, for you guys the first time, for me the fifth fucking time. V1 Cereedra is incredibly underwhelming. Now I would like to go into this video and say yes, this is V1. Because it's V1, very open to changes in the future versions, and actually very likely. However, Cereedra is incredibly underwhelming. Her only best in slot DPS in the entirety of the game is Phenon, and she is basically on the exact same level as Robin and Tribby for Anoxa, but Robin and Tribby have the way better, cost investment if you want to go vertical, and they are way better outside of just Anoxa and Phenon teams. So basically, Cereedra has zero reason to be pulled on currently unless you're running her with Phenon, which is incredibly depressing, right? A lot of people just get the dopamine hit from seeing Anoxa do 4 skills in a row and start acting like, oh my god, this is a concrete best in slot. No, that isn't the case at all, because Anoxa can only on average get 2 extra skill procs from Cereedra's, thingy, her gimmick, every single cycle, and that equates to the exact same as Robin, but Robin has the way better buffing capability and her own damage procs. If you run Robin and you do 1 teammate action advance, you then make Anoxa do a extra skill leading to another skill, and then you make Sunday action advance because you usually run -1, and now that is 2 skills, or a total of 4 because of how Anoxa works. That is the exact same thing that Cereedra does for Anoxa, but Robin has the way better general value in multiple other teams, while Cereedra is competitive with these team buffers who aren't even in this skill DPS niche in the slightest, right? So Cereedra is currently very, very underwhelming, and it's for 2 main reasons. One, half her kit is dedicated towards self-buffing, yet she does almost no damage ever, right? She will do damage on ult, and that is basically it. It's incredibly depressing, right? So half her kit being dedicated to self-buffing when she does no damage, it just doesn't make any sense, knowing that that half of the kit could have been something that have gone towards buffing the DPS she's supporting even more. And then after this is how long it takes to be able to trigger the extra skill from her. You need to keep in mind, she is on equal grounds with Robin and Tribby for Anoxa, and Anoxa is the absolute best abuser of building up her skill stacks in the entirety of the game. Yet even he has better value with Robin and Tribby. So that should show you just how cooked she is, because if you use her for any other skill DPS, then this skill DPS needs to skill like 4 or 5 times just to get 1 extra skill off. It's a complete fucking scam, incredibly underwhelming, and Robin is just straight up better in 99% case of scenarios. And they also have the better E1 investment. So even if you want to compare E0 S1 Cereedra, E1 S0 Robin or Tribby just even further outclass Cereedra, right? So she is currently basically a pole Phenon or nothing character. And the solutions to her kit, in my opinion, are quite obvious, as I just suggested. However, we'll see how exactly they go about making Cereedra stronger going into the future versions. I truly believe the number one issue she has currently is her stacking. It takes way too long. Why do you only get one stack every time you skill or basic? It should be giving 2 stacks every time you skill and 1 every time you basic, rewarding and having a little bit of bias towards skill based DPSs, which is what she's completely based around upon, right? And this way, normal skill DPSs will be able to get an extra skill after 3 turns. That's at least a lot better, right? And then your Anoxas are going to be able to get an extra 2 extra skill every 2 skills he uses. And then Phanon will now be able to abuse this for faster, ramp up time to his ult, because he's going to be getting it a lot more often, so he can just waste 1, get 4 stacks towards his ult, and this might be something that allows him to get a ult off at the last second and get that 0 cycle off, right? So it benefits both Anoxa and Phanon basically the exact same, while benefiting every other skill DPS way more, and allowing her to be a way more viable option compared to just pull Tribby, right? Like current V1 Cereedra is basically just pull Tribby, just pull Robin instead, and you're just going to get way better value. To add on top of this, Cyrene is in 2 patches after Cereedra, and she will most likely be an AoE buffer as well. So even if you don't want to consider Robin or Tribby, you also have Cyrene in fucking 3.7, who might be our first Emanator support in the history of the game. There's no way she doesn't just have way better value than Cereedra. So current V1 Cereedra, very underwhelming, needs a lot of a kit work, rework, whatever, to make her a lot better, right? I'm not even talking about just for Phanon here or Anoxa. I'm talking for literally any other skill DPSs, not named these 2. She is dog shit for them, right? So outside of that, Heislands, right? Heislands is kinda meh to me, right? Heislands is here nor there. She is a buff to the dot team for sure, but the dot team still needs way too much vertical investment to compete with the rest of the Amphorius DPSs in their own shill MOC. Like, it's pretty fucking sad, right? I feel like dot is still missing a main DPS. Black Swan really isn't all that worth it on the dot team, at least when you're running with sustain, because it's usually just better to run E2 Zhaoq or Robin. So I feel like Black Swan is very replaceable currently, unless they announce buffs for Black Swan, but then it's like they probably won't come for like another 4 patches. So are you willing to then invest in this dot team again, it still be mid, and then wait 6 months for your Black Swan to be buffed and still be worse than all the upcoming DPSs? I don't think so, right? I don't think most people would be willing to have that much patience for the dot team unless they're really die hard. So I truly do think that even though Heislands is strong herself, it's just that the dot team, because they almost get no support in this game, Black Swan is outdated. That's really all it is. Black Swan is outdated. Kafka got buffs, so now she's actually really good with Heislands, but there's this weak link being Black Swan that unfortunately kind of brings down the rest of the team's performance, right? So that's all I have to say. Heislands, all she really needs is a future, better DPS, main DPS on the dot team to work well. And Cereedra needs massive changes. In my opinion, once again, the most obvious change I would like is to be able to gain 2 stacks for every single skill, as this would benefit all other skill DPSs way more, and benefit Anoxa and Phanon even more, making them like maybe Cassie level now, right? Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Let me know what you guys think. Wish you luck on any of your polls. Peace out.